Hey, I'm Cornelis. Welcome to Your Band is a Business. This is my weekly update. Today I'm going to talk about a Spotify playlist strategy that I want to try out, as well as a related social media content idea I have. Then I'm going to give you an update on the current performance of my meta ads, so the Facebook and Instagram ads that I'm running at the moment. And then I'll give you a quick update on the current status of my music and what I'm planning to do over the coming weeks. Okay, so let's start with Spotify. I'm sure you know that Spotify looks at all kinds of data points in order to determine which music to recommend to people. So which songs to recommend to their users. So it looks at which songs people are skipping, which songs they're saving, which ones they're sharing outside of the platform with their friends, and which ones they are saving to playlists. So a classic strategy that every musician should be employing is to create playlists of artists that they think are related to them in terms of genre or vibe or aesthetics, and add their own songs to this playlist and then share that with people so that Spotify can see that that people are listening to these songs in consecutive order, and then they're also listening to your music so that it can then associate those artists with you. Now, this is something that I've been doing right from the start. I have several playlists. They are called Cornelis Curates, and then insert the genre. So I have Cornelis Curates Indie Rock, and I have Cornelis Curates Grunge Aesthetics. Some playlists are genre focused, and others are more vibe or aesthetic focused. Now, these playlists, I primarily promote them to my social media followers. So that's why my name's in the playlist, Cornelis Curates, so it feels personalized, like I'm doing this for my social media followers. And the artists that I include on the playlists, they range in terms of popularity. So some of them only have a couple of hundred monthly listeners, so they're more on my level. Some have thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of monthly listeners, and some of them are really popular and have millions of monthly listeners, and I only include a couple of those, but there is a reason why I include them. So I want people to quickly get a sense of what the playlist is going to be about. So obviously, as I said, the name is usually very descriptive. I just put the name of the genre or the vibe, and then I include one of those really popular artists in the first 4 songs on the playlist, because that means that when you see the image of the playlist, which is 4 pieces of artwork for 4 songs, then one of the artists is going to be that really famous artist. So for example, for the Grunge Aesthetics playlist, I'm pretty sure I include a song from the Nirvana MTV Unplugged album. So that's one of the pieces of artwork that you see there in the image when I share the playlist. And a lot of people know Nirvana, they know the MTV Unplugged album, so Grunge Aesthetics, they see Nirvana, okay, they'll get a sense of what that playlist is going to be like. Now, that is a valid strategy for creating playlists, but I also want to try something a little bit different, and this is something that Jesse Cannon has recommended. So this is the playlist that I've created, and the idea behind this playlist is to choose artists that are more on your level or maybe a little bit above where you are right now. So the playlist is called London's Best New Raw Indie Bands. So I'm being very descriptive with the name of the playlist. I don't want any confusion. It's not an arty or vibey playlist name. It's very straightforward. It says exactly what it's about. Bands from London, indie bands from London. They are new bands and they are raw bands, because I want to communicate that these are the kind of bands that are a bit more punky or rock in terms of indie, and not the sensitive singer-songwriter type of indie. And then I've also created this custom image that you can see, which is a black and white picture of Big Ben here in London, and then this typewriter font for the name of the playlist. Now, I'm doing this for several reasons. First of all, because all of the artists on this playlist are going to be these up-and-coming bands, I'm not expecting anybody that I promote this playlist to recognize any of the bands. So I can't rely on that recognition of famous artwork, right, from famous bands and artists. So that's one of the reasons why I've created this custom piece of art, or this custom image. It's not art, but this custom image. As well as that, obviously, it has a bit of a punky Sex Pistols, The Clash type of aesthetic to it, so that is useful as well. And together with the name, I'm hoping that this will entice people to check it out. They won't go in expecting to hear bands they already know. It's new indie bands, so hopefully it will attract people that are interested in discovering new music. Now, as I said, the artists, the bands on this playlist are more on my level or a bit above where I am right now. So for example, I'm at about 100 monthly listeners at the moment, and most of the artists on this playlist range from 200, 300 monthly listeners up to about 1,500 monthly listeners. There's one or two that are higher than that, but most of them are within that range. So that's kind of the next level above from where I am right now. And all these bands are from London, or primarily based in London as far as I'm aware. A lot of these bands I have seen personally play at small venues around London, and I've interacted with them both in person but more importantly on social media. And by that I mean I've taken videos of them when I've seen them perform live and tagged them. I've added them to playlists in the past, obviously. Also taken pictures and tagged them. So there should be social media data out there on Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook to show that my social media accounts are linked to these artists. Now, what I'm doing with this London specific playlist is I'm focusing squarely on that, whereas the other playlists I created in the past, yes, they would be focused on a particular genre, but I would include bands from around the country or different countries like America, Canada, places like that. This one is specifically about bands in London, bands that I've seen perform on the scene, and bands that are a little bit above where I am right now. Now, this what I want to do with this playlist, as I said, I want to, obviously I will share it with my social media followers, but I want to put in the effort to promote it to people outside of my current circle, as it were. So what I want to do is I want to set up some meta ads, so Facebook and Instagram ads, and I did a quick test where I ran a reach campaign, so just getting impressions on it. That wasn't working too well. I didn't really expect it to, but what I will do now is I will set up a new campaign which is focused on clicks and see how that works. So I will target people that like the genre of indie rock in London and that also are interested in Spotify, and I will see how that works. At the moment, I'm not running any conversion optimization campaigns because I stopped using ToneDen, and I need to look up what other options there are for me to create a landing page where I can include the Facebook tracking pixel. I think Hype Edit is the one that most people have moved over to, so I need to check that out. But anyway, I will discuss that in a moment when I talk about the performance of my Facebook and Instagram ads. Before I go into that though, I just wanted to talk about the social media content idea I had, which is related to this playlist. And it's really obvious, I don't know why I haven't been doing it all this time, but as I said, I go to a lot of shows, a lot of gigs of small bands around London, and I take video content, but 9 times out of 10 I post that on my Instagram and Facebook stories or my reels, but it's not part of the permanent content, as it were, that I put out on Instagram or YouTube and stuff like that. And so I thought, I'm really missing something here, missing an opportunity. So what I'm going to do from now on is I'm going to create little gig diary type videos. So literally I will just say, hey, follow me as I go to a gig in London, and take some footage at the gig in landscape mode, right? And then put together a little 2-minute, 3-minute, 4-minute video that includes some footage from the gig, maybe me talking to some of the people at the gig, and then put that on YouTube. I'll share it on other platforms as well, but this type of content will be primarily for YouTube, and hopefully I can get some interaction from the bands that are featured, because I'll be able to say, hey, look, I took this little video where I talked about going to the gig and I showed what it was like being at the gig, and hopefully that will be something that they will share with their followers. If not, some people that are interested in those other bands will stumble upon it. And as I mentioned, I also want to highlight some of the social aspect of going to gigs, because I think that's really important. I think social media, it's its own thing, obviously, living online, but one of the great things about it is that we can tie that to the real world, and I want to do that and really show the interactions that people in the live music scene can have with each other, and the friendships that are made, and the fun times that we have, and just show that side of things, because I think it's something that is not really shown, but it does exist, and I think it's a way to get people excited about attending gigs, especially of small artists that are out there playing these small venues. Okay, so what I want to talk about now is the results of my Facebook and Instagram ads, or the results so far. So in my previous update, I talked about wanting to test a reach campaign. So this campaign is purely about getting video ads in front of as many people as possible. This is an awareness campaign. I'm fully aware that there are other ways to optimize campaigns, so to optimize for clicks or conversion campaigns, and I know all about running those types of ads. I've done it in the past. You can check out my other videos. There's a video where I show how I spent something like $1,000 or $1,200 on a campaign which was optimized to conversions. So the conversion was to get people to a landing page before they go to the streaming platform, and I talk all about how that went in that video. But this time I'm trying something slightly different, and I'm running this awareness campaign in order to just get people to view the videos that I've made. So I've made these little 15, 30 second, 45 second videos that are based around the hook of the song, and the idea is just to get people to exposed to it. And I'm targeting North and East London and people that have an interest in the genre indie rock. Now I am running a very small budget on these ad sets, so it's £2 per ad. Yes, £2 per ad actually. I think it is, or is it £2 per ad set? Anyway, in the past week or so, I've spent £27. So what is that? 30 something dollars. And so there's 3 songs: Don't Be Jealous, Look Back and Laugh, and Just Stuff. Don't Be Jealous and Look Back and Laugh are the catchiest songs that I have, where the hooks are just like, people really latch on to those. Just Stuff is kind of a surprise hit for me at the moment, even though I might not personally consider it the catchiest song, but it is quite representative of myself in terms of the genre of music I make. So it sits quite squarely in the middle of the type of music I make, whereas Don't Be Jealous and Look Back and Laugh are kind of on the edge. And yeah, so I am aware that this is a very small budget to be running on ads, and in case you don't know, I work as a freelance digital marketer, and I work for businesses, B2B, software as a service, that kind of stuff. And when I run campaigns for those businesses, I'm spending thousands or tens of thousands of pounds a month on campaigns. So I'm aware that these are very small budgets, and therefore I have to be careful about drawing any conclusions, because ideally I would have a lot more data to be making decisions on. Nevertheless, as I said, this is actually one of the reasons why I'm going for a reach or awareness campaign to start off with, because I want to get a whole bunch of impressions. So far it's almost 23,000 impressions for these ads. Maybe I shouldn't count. This was the playlist ad, the London indie playlist ad that I was trying out, but I've paused that. Anyway, so what is it? Maybe just over 20,000 impressions for these ads. And the thing that I'm looking at here is the amount of people that watch 25% of the video, 50% of the video, 75, 95, etc. And as you can see, it's a small percentage. Now I'm just going to head over to Excel, where I want to show you the percentage. So these are the three these are the ads. So we've got the two Don't Be Jealous ads. So just to explain as well, there are two variations of each ad. One is just a performance ad, as it were, and the other has some text overlaid which says, hey, I'm paying for these ads in order to promote my music, something like that. And that's an idea I got from somebody that Andrew Southworth interviewed. Anyway, so each ad set has two ads, and over on the right here I've calculated the percentage of people that were reached that watched that percentage. Does that make sense? So for this first ad, 4.6% of all the impressions, or the people that were reached, watched 25%, and then 1.57% watched 50%, etc., etc. So only 0.44% watched the whole video. So that's this one here, 16 people. And so these top two are Don't Be Jealous, these middle two are Look Back and Laugh, and then the last two are Just Stuff. So you can see that the two songs that I consider the catchiest indeed seem to get people to, initially at least, want to hear more, whereas Just Stuff, which is the song I consider the least catchy, although funnily enough it's maybe one of the most representative in terms, like, it sits right in the middle of all the types of songs that I make, but it is the least catchy, and it seems to be getting the least retention, as it were, throughout the whole video. So what I want to do with this campaign, I want to leave it run a bit longer, but what I probably will do is I will pause the lesser performing ad out of each ad set, and I will determine that by the amount of people that get to, say, 50% of the video. That's the metric that I will look at. You could look at things like cost and cost per through play, stuff like that, but I'm not really worried about that right now. I want to optimize for people that seem to be interested in the video, interested in the music. Now, as I said earlier, the idea behind this campaign, it is a reach campaign, it's an awareness campaign. In my previous video I spoke about how I'm considering this the top of the funnel, right? So there's awareness, interest, and then what's the one after that? Now, awareness, consideration, interest. No, awareness, interest, and then consideration. Consideration is when, okay, I'm actually considering buying the products, signing up to the newsletter, listening to the song, right? So I'm working on the top of the funnel, and as I said, I'm aware that you can run campaigns that are based about directly getting people straight over to Spotify, and that you optimize towards that conversion. Now with these ads, I have included the listen now button with a link directly to the Spotify playlist. That is included, but it's not the primary focus right now. If I look at the performance in clicks, you can see here people do click. There's a couple, not very many, but it is happening. I'm not worried about that too much at the moment. Now, what I would like to try and do is build an audience based on the people that view the video. So I just want to show you how I've done that and how you can do that. So on the left here, you saw the little icon with the people that I clicked on there. It's called audiences, and make sure that you are in the correct account here. So Cornelis Gerard, that's fine. And here you can see all the audiences that I've created previously. Now what I've done is I've created this playlist, people who viewed 95% of a CG video, and then based on that I created a lookalike audience for the UK, or Great Britain as it is here, GB. 1%, like the best 1% of lookalike people who viewed 95% of the video. I will show you how I did this because at the moment this is going to be a very small list, right? It's going to be a couple of hundred people. Fewer than 1,000. I think it's something like 800, 700 or 800 people that have viewed 95% of those videos. So it's going to be very small, and it's hard. It's going to be hard for the Meta, for the Facebook and Instagram algorithm to create a lookalike audience based on such a small sample. Ideally, you want multiple thousands, tens of thousands of people, as many as possible, obviously. But anyway, I will show you how I created these audiences. So over here, create audience. First, you start with the custom audience and go here, meta sources, and then choose video and choose engagement type. So I will go, so let's be a bit more generous, so 50%. Then select the videos, Cornelis Gerard. So that's, make sure you choose the Facebook page. Then I will select the videos that I want to include. So it's those and these two. So it's the look back and laugh, don't be jealous, and just stuff videos. I'm going to leave the audience retention at 365, and then I'm going to do this: people who viewed 50% of let me just look at the other tab. What's the name of a CG video? I like to keep my naming uniform, so let's do it that way. People who viewed 50% of CG video, and the description, I'll keep that the same as well. So I will create that audience, and then it will automatically prompt you to create a lookalike audience as well. So I'll do that now. Now here, you can create multiple lookalikes with different levels of similarity to your source. This allows you to bid differently for audiences with different conversion values. So, how strictly do you want this lookalike audience to be? A 1% lookalike consists of the people who are most similar to your lookalike audience. Increasing the percentage creates a bigger, broader audience. So, as it said, I can create multiple ones. So for now, I'm just going to stick with 1%, and I'm going to do it for the UK only. And it says here estimated reach 546,000 people. So I'm going to do create audience now. So now I have a list which is people who viewed 95% of a CG, of a Cornelis Jarrard video, and a lookalike based on that, and then one that is 50% of a CG video, and then a lookalike based on that. Now, the reason I'm creating these audiences is because I want to now, or in a few weeks, I want to test a campaign which is further down this funnel and target people that have already shown some interest in my music or my videos. So I'm thinking about doing a conversion optimization campaign, and that will be a campaign that then leads to a landing page, and from there they can then choose the streaming platform that they want to use. Now, in the past, I've run conversion optimization campaigns using ToneDen, but there's been some issues with that, and I read somewhere that it's not being updated. The platform has been bought by another company, and they're not really updating it anymore. So anyway, I'm looking for a new platform to use. I believe that most people use HypeEdit, so I will look into that. I will investigate that and see if it fulfills what I need it to do. I could potentially just create my own landing page on my website. I have my own website for my music. It's cornelisjarrard.com. I guess I could just do it there because the Facebook pixel is embedded on there through Google Tag Manager. So that could be a way to do it. I need to investigate it. Maybe I'll check out some of Andrew Southworth's videos and just see what he's doing right now, because it's been a few months since I've done this type of campaign. But anyway, that's the idea. So as you can see, the campaigns I'm running right now are purely awareness, purely reach, just trying to get my music in front of a lot of different people. And then I'm going to see if I can use that to narrow down, to focus down on people that have already shown some interest, and then run a conversion optimization campaign based on those audiences. Now this strategy, it might be making it too complicated. Maybe I should just be going straight for the conversion optimization campaign right from the get-go and allow Meta to just optimize towards people that are clicking through the ad and clicking through to the music. Now, I've mentioned this in the previous video, but I'll just say briefly again why I'm not doing that this time. It's because I was, although the results were very good, I was getting people that were just purely interested in that one song, and they would save the song and that's it. And they didn't really look like they were becoming interested in me as an artist overall. They weren't really becoming invested in me as an artist or a fan. They just really liked that song, and I can see how that strategy is good if you have a big budget, and then you can just push that one song, get into the Discover Weekly playlist or whatever, just really hit that algorithm, and then your music will get pushed out there. And that is a valid thing, and I might test that further in the future, but this time around I want to be a bit more considerate and see if I can narrow down, focus, pre-select as it were, an audience that is more disposed potentially to becoming a proper fan. Now, it kind of ties in both of these strategies that I'm talking about at the moment. So the playlist strategy and this meta ad strategy, it kind of has to do as well with my fans also like section. Now, a while ago I was running extensive ads, and my whole fans also like section was completely full, all kinds of artists. But these artists, I didn't really feel like they were related to me. So again, it pointed to this idea that, okay, maybe I'm pushing my music out to certain people that really like that particular song, but they aren't really maybe interested as me in my music in general. And so yeah, my fans also like section had all these other artists, and I listened to their music and I thought, okay, that isn't really like me at all. So because I've I stopped doing that a while ago. It looks like my also like section has thinned out. There's fewer artists, and it might be the opportunity for me to rebuild this from scratch. Now there are a couple of artists here that are based in London, so Dread Fury, Georgia Maria and Kalebo are actually friends of mine, and they're based here in London, so that's really interesting and that's good. But it shows, okay, maybe I can rebuild this and get a better result of artists that I think, or bands that are more closely aligned with what I'm doing. And that's why I'm running ads again, but this time I'm starting with this awareness campaign. I'm not just going straight for the conversions campaign, and I'm also going to be testing this Spotify playlist, which is very narrowly focused on indie rock bands here in London. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do, so that Spotify will learn which artists I'm more similar to, and then push me out to the fans of those other artists. Okay, so that's the idea behind it all. I will leave you with one quick update about what's going on with my own music. So I have booked my flights to Lithuania, where my music producer, recording engineer friend is based. He has a studio there. That's where I've recorded music in the past, and I'm going there in a week and a half or so to record some more music. At least 3 songs is the plan, so that I can get ahead of myself, so that I have music that I can release into the 2025. So I have a whole bunch of songs, because there are already songs that I'm working on right now, and I'm just adding to that conveyor belt, as it were. So the next song that I'm working on, I'm hoping for it to come out in August. I spoke to the trumpet player that I want him to play some trumpet parts for the song. So I provided him with some ideas that I came up with on just some MIDI ideas that I wrote down, and I've asked him to play those on his trumpet and record those, and I will also give him the opportunity to improvise and come up with his own stuff. And in the meantime, I have also forwarded the work in progress file to my artist friend Izzy, who will be making the artwork for this song. And she's an artist I've been working with for a number of years now. She's done a whole bunch of artwork for me, and yeah, I always look forward to what she creates for me. If you're interested in finding out more about that process, then go to the interviews section on my YouTube channel, and you will see a series of interviews I did with her, so that you can get an idea of what it's like to work with an artist, and maybe give you some ideas about how to approach an artist, how to give them ideas about the direction you want to go in, how to work with them in order to benefit the both of you, so that you can both get a rewarding artistic expression out of it. Okay, that's it for today. I've covered a whole bunch of things. Let me know in the comments what you are doing in order to promote your music. Are you running ads? Are you running any kind of Spotify playlist strategy? I'm really interested to hear what other independent musicians are doing, because I'm not a guru. I'm just learning things as I go along. I'm trying to figure things out. If you have any ideas, any suggestions for me, please leave a comment, especially about what platform I can use for the ads. So is it Hype Edit, or are you using something else? I'm really interested to hear. Let me know in the comments. I will speak to you guys next time.